morning and started up there. I think you should be able to hear me all right. It's not that noisy, these ones. So we're really firing on now. You know, the weather's on the turn. The nights aren't being as cold, because that's the problem. We've had some really nice days, but when you get cold nights, the plants don't have a clue what's going on. They just don't know, so they just sort of hunker down and just wait. So, you know, the more daylight hours now, warmer nights, warmer days, so everything's starting going. So where I am anyway, you can, you know, in North Yorkshire, you can get stuff in now. So a little quick plot tour. So the strawberries cracking on. This is one thing that you need to get on top of straight away, weeds, because they now will start to fire up with vengeance. Get them whilst they're little, get them now, and it won't cause you, especially with no dig. You will always get a few weeds with no dig, but if you pick them off whilst they're little, then it's a lot easier. So my strawberries, I keep calling them Giganta. I'm sure they're called Giganta. They're the big ones. They've got loads of flowers on. I'm going to net them this year, and we've managed to avoid them all getting killed off like last year with the frost. My little apple tree, that's doing fine. That's setting fruit. Some of them are setting. My little grafts that I've done, I don't know if you can see there, there's a little fresh bud, excuse me. A few of others are just, I think that one's a fresh bud as well, but I don't want to touch it just in case. So a couple of them have looked to be doing all right. Same at home. That one's a bit dormant, I don't know yet. I didn't go mad because I don't really know what I'm doing. I just watched a few YouTube videos. So I'll just come back up here now, turn around slowly, not make you all sick. Raspberries, summer raspberries, they're budding up lovely there. So the side shoots, this is where you get your fruit and your flowers there. Everyone's got loads of them coming. So they're doing fine. My autumn, my late flowering ones. Same again, this end is doing really well. There's a few more at this end this time, but what I do need to do is make sure I pick that rhubarb. I'll do that after I've done this video. Get the rhubarb leaves off of them and out of the way. My little, I'm pretty sure it's a plum tree, just because of the shape of the leaves. I'm pretty sure now this is a plum. So my little plum tree's doing fine. I just need to get that rogue raspberry out there. No, it's just nice. Everything's cracking on now. Everything's going, but also weeds are growing. So my garlic, my elephant garlic's huge, but that'll be another couple of months because it wants to be huge underground, not on top. My Japanese greens have been eaten by slugs. You won't believe it. I give Peter next door some, and look, you won't be able to see, but he put them in his polytunnel, and they're about 18 inches tall. So they obviously like it warm and humid, and so to be honest, I'm going to pull these out and put some beetroot in. My brassicas in there, purple sprouting, broccoli, savoy, cabbage, they're doing fine, ticking away. My salad bed starting to go berserk. In fact, some of them have gone to seed, so I'm going to hike them out, and I'll let the other ones just spread into space. Start picking them. I've got all my onions in. These are Red Baron. See, there's a few weeds. I'll have to get them out. The good thing about this no dig though, like, if you look everywhere, there's only a couple. So literally I can weed the whole allotment in 20 minutes. So Red Baron, them ones are, I'm pretty sure they're just, well, they were just called Large Exhibition. So it didn't say what name they were just Large Exhibition. My tayberries, I don't know, they're taking the time. These ones, the spiny ones, they're taking the time. But this thornless one, it's coming on, it's got a few flowers on it, so I might get a few off this year. And I've got another one up there to go in here at the end of this year, because I wanted to see what the thornless ones were like because the thorny ones are horrible. They're lovely fruit, but they're bloody horrible. You nearly get stuck, her tail gets stuck in there so many times, it's unreal. They are, even the leaves are prickly. It's mad. So I've got some kale in there and some spare kale there. So yep, that's ticking away nicely. That's my white exhibition. I've put a few more excuse me. I've got a few more flowers in the beds on the edge there, and if you can see there in the bucket I've got some sunflowers. They're not giant, they're about 6 foot tall, so I'll be able to sort of tie them back to fence. I know I said I wasn't going to do any more spuds, but I've got 4 buckets there, and I've got 2 buckets up there that we'll get to. Somebody just give me some spare spuds so I put them in. I struggle for space here, so that there is spot on in buckets. I've got all down there. So right, so carrots. I've got my carrots in. I have done a video. You can't, the soil sort of spreads about. If you look at that end, you can see how I've caught it out. But I went a bit mad here and I had a bit of a problem with water dripping through, and it sort of spread the bits of compost. So I can assure you all of it is cored out lovely and neat like that. That's just the compost that spread over the top when I was filling the little divots in. This bed, sorry, excuse me, this bed is going to be full of leeks. My leeks are up there, you can just see them poking over top at compost bin. We'll get there in a moment. This is all sand out at cord, so I'll keep these bags in shed to put back on next year, or just use it in compost mixes. More rhubarb going berserk. We're still eating rhubarb from 2 years ago that I canned, that I bottled. We Americans call it canning, we call it bottling or jarring. I'm still eating it from 2 years ago. My little apple tree is coming on really well. We've got space in front of them, so I think I'm going to put some flowers in front of both of these, this apple and plum tree. I put some ivy in the back of some of these. Fat finger time. That one's doing well. That one looks fantastic, so I'll just top dress that with a bit of compost. My asparagus, I'm really not sure about my asparagus. This is 3rd year, so you should get a couple of canes, sprouts, whatever you want to call them. But this one here is alright, but it's all very spindly, and also someone's bloody eating them as soon as they come through. So, and notes come through there, but when I did dig down, there were some sprouts coming up. Same goes there, and same goes there. So they are there, then they are coming on, but really slow, really slow. My mucky corner, which is my wildlife, like I say, I'm leaving that to go pretty much wild. And my little bonsai trees, my baby bonsais. My bean bed's ready to go. Not that I've planted any climbing beans. I need to get my backside in gear and get my climbing beans in, but I put a few radishes in just to catch crop. I put my peas in, mange 2 peas, but someone started eating them already. So I don't like putting slug pellets down, but I've got some organic ones that I've put a few down. But I might have to just cover them up, put a bit of netting over them if I come back down tomorrow and someone else is eating half of them again. If you can just see, you've got nice long ones there, and then someone's just nipped the tops off all them. So I'll see what happens. I've got my beetroot in. There's 3 or 4 in a little cell, beetroot there. These onions, these are Elsa Craig. These are just some Elsa Craig that I did. So that's it. I've got 2.5 beds of onions, which might seem a lot, but we eat a lot of onions. Potatoes, I've put a little frame around. So for me, space is a bit limited. So I've been putting some stuff in tubs. I've got some dwarf French beans in some tubs there, in literally pure compost and manure. When I've put my courgettes in, which are going in here, so I'm taking all this lot out and I'm going to put about 8 inches of that on top of the leaf mold. That's 1 year old leaf mold that's going down again. So I'm going to put 10, maybe even 12 is whatever. I'm going to put a load of that in there, and then I'll scoop out two holes, and I'll just put some cheap compost that I've got up there in the holes and plant my courgettes, which are there. Plant my courgettes in there, so I'm not wasting space, and they're protected a bit from sides, and it works. I've done it before plenty of times. You just, as the year go on, they just get lower and lower and lower as bloody compost rots down, but it works. So I'm going to put 2 in there, which is a bit close together, sorry. But as they grow and root through the bit of compost, they'll root into that stuff, which is amazingly rich. So it works, like I say, it works. I've done it before. So I'll be putting 2 courgettes in there. There's my little sunflowers. I'm gonna put, they're about 6 foot tall. I'm gonna actually put some sunflowers in between the tayberries and tie them to the strings of the tayberries, just for a bit of fun. And like I say, I'm gonna put some over there. So I did do a video coring out my carrots. What I'll do is I'll pop that on now, because I core mine very close together, and somebody sort of asked me, you know, how do I get the core so close together without collapsing? So I'll do a little, I'll pop a little video in now. I'll do my best anyway. I'm not the world's best at editing, but I'll pop a little video in now, and then I'll come back to you a bit later on when I've got a few more bits and bobs done. Okie doke. Right folks, good evening. Well, right, it's actually Tuesday. On Saturday it just got really busy down here. I've got on, there were just too many people to do a video, so I'll cut in the carrot coring video now, and then I'll come back to you and we'll have another little quick chat. Good evening folks. It's a bit breezy, so I hope there isn't too much sort of wind noise. Last year somebody asked me how do I get my carrots like tubes cored out all so close together without them collapsing. Basically I do it in 2 stages. So as you can see here, I come to this end, I just core out rows with a gap in the middle, fill all them, and then I just start again and I core out in between each one. It's fat finger time, I know. So basically you don't disturb. If you try to core all them out at the same time, you just collapse them into each other. So I do space them about 8 inches apart, work my way down, and then fill all them, and then come back and core out in between, and just keep your sand in a bag for next year. This is just my mix for filling up. It's just a general purpose compost, just what I can get hold of. This one's got a bit of added John Innes fertilizer in it, and I just mix some of the sand in. I put probably about 10%, 15%, you know, not a lot, but I just put a bit more sand back in. So what I'll do is I'll come back once I've filled them all in. See you no more. Right folks, so it's Tuesday evening, it's about 6:30, 7 o'clock. I've just come down to finish off the video and get some salads, so I'm going to chop a load of these. I'd say that these strawberries have got even more flowers on since Saturday. I think the sun has really brought them out. So on Saturday I managed to get a few things done. Like I said, the rhubarb here was overshadowing, so I've pulled a lot of that rhubarb. I've got a couple of sunflowers in there, the rest of them Sorry, I don't have cough a lot. I've put most of them just down along here where I can fix them to the fence. So I've put them in there. I had some spare brassicas, some spare kale and things, so I've just potted up half a dozen just in case. I've potted up a couple of kales, I've potted up a couple of purple sprouting broccolis, a couple of curly kale, a couple of black Nero de Toscana, the black kale, and some purple sprouting. I've potted my spare courgette, which is there, just in a bigger pot. I'm not sure if I've done 2 pots of beans, but I've got 2 pots of dwarf French beans. And the biggest thing is my courgettes are in. So I've finally completely cleared out the compost bin, the one that's got compost and manure. And believe it or not, that's dropped down about 4 inches since Saturday. I put a good 12-inch of compost and manure on there, and then planted my 2 courgettes in a divot, and I just put some cheap Morrison's compost on top. The reason I do this is just to cap in weed seeds, because it's just, this is why you top dressing, no dig, it just caps in any weed seeds. I'll still get a few, but those are in there now happily. And what I'll do is I'll put a couple of canes on either side, only short canes, but as this sinks it will actually grow up in between the 2 canes. So rather than letting it sprawl, I'll grow it up so it will reach for the sun, and you'll get plenty of courgettes. So they're in. The rest of that compost is now in, or should I say on, the leek bed. So what I've done is I just dug it out, chucked it on here, and what you can see on top is just a bit of sand, just because it is it's very wet and claggy, is compost and manure, and I like a bit of sand in my mix. So I've put some sand in. All I'll do is I'll just rake that. I'm not going to dig it, I'm just going to rake it. I've just left it for a few days to dry. I'll rake it, and then I'll actually walk on it just gently. I'll just walk on it to compact it down a bit and rake it back out nice and level, and then I'm going to put my leeks in. Now I do feel my leeks are a little bit small, but I know last year I think I might have waited a bit too long because a lot of them went to seed. So you can see down there, they're nowhere near pencil thick, but I think I'm going to put them in. I'm going to put them in and then see if I get out different this year, whether I still get as many go to seed. So I think that's it, folks. I didn't do anything else. It was a bit of a lazy Saturday afternoon. That took some digging out for me, did that. Topped up my compost bin there with a load of stuff from home and some manure which I need to tidy up. I usually have 1 bin full of manure and 1 bin full of compost as in greenery and stuff like that, and then both of them will go in there next year. Now because I've got leaf mold in there, I'm not going to be able to do that. So what I've actually done is I've put a layer in that one, I've put a layer of compost and then some manure, layer of compost and some manure. So I won't get as much because I won't have a full bin, but I don't really need a full bin because I've got all that full of leaf mold. So I'll be able to mix the leaf mold and the manure bin together, and like I say, I don't really need to go mad because all my beds are as topped up as I'm quite happy. You do not need to fill raised beds right up to the top. It's not, you know, it ain't a problem if they're down a bit. None of mine are right up to the top. They're all sort of 5 or 6 inches down, and it's just how it is. They'll get topped up slowly, but that's the compost that I topped. It's all cracked. what I'll do is I'll run my little sort of weeding fork over that, break it up, and then I'll water them tomorrow probably. I haven't watered them for a few days. I don't like to water onions like every day, or you know, I like to try and water them once a week and really soak and drown the soil so the water goes down, so the roots go down. But onions are quite shallow rooted, so you've got to be careful. So folks, what a lovely evening. It's just a shame about the view. It's a bag of crap. I'm sure it'll look a lot nicer once we're all finished. So thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you for watching my videos. I really do appreciate it. You know I do. I'm not technical, you know I'm not. It's just a video log of my allotment. So enjoy the sun, enjoy your gardens, your allotments, your balconies, or just your plant pots, whatever it is you're growing in. Ta-ta for now.